Imagine you're in a parallel universe where drums are synths. That's the instrument I've made. It's called Kit Zenith. Pre-order is now open on magitone.com. Four years ago, I started a long-held ambition, starting to record all of the Gretsch drums that I'd amassed. Today is the day we're going to record a new sample instrument. We're going to head up to Otterhead Studios in Rugby and record some drums, lots of drums, lots and lots and lots of drums. I've been collecting since about 2010. In that time I removed the outer covering. It had originally had chrome wrap on it. With all the parts off, I noticed all the shell resonances. I remember those DW adverts from the 90s where they talk about that stuff.
To listen to the note of the shell. 12-inch shell right here, and that's what timbre matching is all about.
And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have that as like a accessible sound? And that then started a kind of ball rolling. I started making test instruments. Originally, the idea was that you just have the toms and then you could dial up the sound of the shell. And I thought this would be really cool. So that is a 6-inch shell. That's a 10, 12, 14 or 15, 16, 18, 20. I sort of discovered that that didn't work. Like, the sound of the shell is very different from the sound of the finished drum. So if you have the kind of shell on a fader, it doesn't really add to the sound, it just sort of sounds like another sound. So I then thought, well, if I chromatically tuned everything, it would match up better, because you'd have the pitch of the drum head and the pitch of the shell, and you could sort of mix and match those. Tuning drums. It's quite a weird thing to do. Working in series, so you're going from high to low, and then taking those individual drums and pitching them to then meet with the next drum in the series. I'd done a lot of experimentation when I made the AC08. What do you reckon? And I hit on a way of working with that, which was to record the close mics of the instrument, so the fundamental is very defined, and then re-amp it in the space. Because the problem I had with the AC08 was I didn't do that, we just recorded room mics. By the time the sound of the tuned bass drum made it to the room mics, it just kind of sounded like a bass drum. You didn't get sort of defined pitches, so this was a way of sort of making the pitches be more defined. And then, of course, once I'd done that, I sort of thought, well, I could really reamp more sounds into the room. I became really influenced by the Fergus Henderson book, Nose to Tail Eating, and this idea of using the whole part of an animal, but in this regard, the whole part of a drum kit. I wanted to get something that featured every component part of a drum kit. One of the things I became particularly obsessed with was the idea of opposites. Drums are a staccato instrument. They've got a pretty short sustain, but I love this idea of trying to make them sort of be against their own nature and be a sustaining instrument, and how could I achieve that? And so I used all sorts of different techniques, from Thumbrolls to friction mallets, pump sound into the drum to get it to feed back into itself and self-oscillate. It's drums as you've never really heard them before. It's called Dream Kit Zenith. Currently, March 2025. I've announced the pre-order. The pre-order is there to help with just the final hurdles of things. I have no idea if anybody wants this instrument, but I love it so much and I'm so excited for it to be in the world. This series is called Burden of Drums. Next week, I'll dive into some more features of the instrument. There's going to be a walkthrough, and please share, like, follow, all of that stuff, and I'll see you next time.